Good evening. State versus state. Tonight, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis becoming the latest Republican to move migrants to Democratic areas. Two planes of asylum seekers arriving in Martha's Vineyard early this morning. Officials there say they were given no notice. The group of about 50 migrants, including children, now taking shelter in a small church. Residents from the island stopping by to give clothes and other essential items. DeSantis refuting claims this is a political stunt, saying he's just shifting the immigration responsibility to states with Democratic leadership, and he's not alone. Over the past few weeks, the governor of Texas busing thousands of migrants to cities like New York and Chicago. Illinois calling in the National Guard because they needed help. And this week, a group of asylum seekers sent by Abbott dropped off at the D.C. home of Vice President Kamala Harris. Many now calling for the Department of Justice to get involved. So let's get right to NBC's Carrie Sanders, who leads us off tonight.
48 Venezuelan migrants, the youngest only 3 years old, flown to Martha's Vineyard Wednesday, will spend another night at a local church.
Creíamos que llegamos a Nueva York, pero no sé qué pasó que llegamos aquí.
Officials say they were given no notice the migrants were headed there.
Y ya, eso fueron las 24 horas más inciertas que hemos tenido.
¿Te preocupabas?
Miedo, más que preocupación, miedo, porque no sabíamos a dónde íbamos a llegar.
The charter flights to the wealthy, heavily Democratic enclave where former President Obama has a home, arranged by Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis.
Every community in America should be sharing in the burdens. It shouldn't all fall on a handful of red states.
A protest against President Biden's border policies that DeSantis says have led to a record surge of migrants.
What would be the best is for Biden to do his damn job and secure the border.
As the local island community in Massachusetts rallied to help the migrants today,
Some of them have been through really horrific things.
anger among some Democrats.
We have the governor of one of the largest states in the country hatching a secretive plot to use humans, to use women, children, families as a political pawn. And to me, it is just so cruel.
The flight of migrants, the latest move by Republican governors along border states, sending migrants north, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who's bused 11,000 migrants to New York City, where Democratic Mayor Eric Adams says the city is nearing a breaking point. Still,
we will continue to welcome asylum seekers with open arms and provide them the services they need.
Abbott also sending 101 migrants to the gates outside of Vice President Kamala Harris's residence in Washington Wednesday, after she said on Meet the Press,
"The border is secure, but we also have a broken immigration system."
Washington, D.C. has requested National Guard to help with a, quote, growing humanitarian crisis. In the city of Chicago, officials are struggling to keep up. More than 500 migrants have been dropped off in the last 2 weeks.
This is, again, an orchestrated plan to create chaos in Democratic-controlled cities. It shouldn't be like this, but it speaks volumes about who Governor Abbott is.
As Chicago scrambles to find shelters, migrants are being sent to hotels in neighboring cities like Elk Grove Village, where they were met with confusion and anger.
My community is bent over backwards to try to help. It's the governor's staff that's not responsive. It's a governor's staff that's not helping.
Illinois Mayor J.B. Pritzker promising to care for the migrants.
While other states may be treating these vulnerable families as pawns, here in Illinois, we are treating them as people.
In a statement, Governor Abbott's office defending his actions, saying in part, quote, these Democrat elites are absolute hypocrites. Meanwhile, tonight, NBC News has learned there is friction between the Homeland Security Department and the White House over what to do. With 2 million illegal border crossings in the last year, breaking all previous records, DHS officials have presented options, including flying migrants to the border with Canada.
Sources tell us the White House has so far been reluctant to take that step, which they say would be taking a page out of the Republican playbook.
All right, Carrie Sanders joins us now. Carrie, I want to go back to what happened in Martha's Vineyard and Governor Ron DeSantis. His critics are saying that he was using these Venezuelan migrants as political tools. And I have a question about that video. How exactly did the media get the video of all those migrants landing in Martha's Vineyard? Because I think that's important for the reporting.
Yeah, we got that video from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' press office. They say that they did not take it, that they got it from a source, whatever that means. But the visualization, again, the video ultimately was given to us by the Florida governor's office here.
So clearly the governor's office wanted to make sure that the media had these images of the Venezuelan migrants landing in Martha's Vineyard. Now I do want to focus on the fact that they were Venezuelan migrants, a huge community in South Florida. What's happening down there? Are members of the Venezuelan American community upset about this?
Yeah, indeed they are. They, first of all, want to know, are these family members? There are 48 people. Are they family members? And they are upset. You know, they held some news conferences today. They talked about this. One of the leaders here in the Venezuelan community said that they're taking notes for the midterms in November, and we won't forget who supports us. So there may be some show at the ballot box. But there are, of course, others who surprisingly say they do not like what happened, but Ron DeSantis is still their governor and still has their support. Tom? We're
going to have to wait and see what the effects are. All right, Kerry Sanders for us tonight. Kerry, we appreciate all that reporting. The debate over how to handle the influx of migrants at the southern border, is only intensifying and furthering political divides on the issue. I want to bring in on our panel tonight two Texans who have two different perspectives on what's going on. Orlando Sanchez, he's the founder of Texas Latino Conservatives and the former treasurer of Harris County, Texas, and former HUD Secretary Julian Castro. He also served as the mayor of San Antonio and is a current NBC News contributor. I'd like to thank both of you for joining our show. Orlando, I want to start with you. What is your take on what Ron DeSantis did, sending those Venezuelan migrants from Texas and flying them over to Martha's Vineyard?
I'm assuming the governor of Florida is following in the steps of Governor Greg Abbott here in Texas. We have absorbed the influx of over 200,000 uninspected, undocumented aliens, and property taxpayers in Texas, as you may know, fund every aspect of government, from public schools to public health to social services to our law enforcement. And the taxpayers of Texas are fed up, the property taxpayers are fed up of funding what the federal government should be handling.
Orlando, I want to ask you a specific question, and you can fact check me if I'm wrong. You were a Cuban refugee?
I was a refugee in 1962 from Havana, Cuba, came from Venezuela through the port of Miami.
So, Orlando, I have a question for you. Then you understand the immigrant experience, but more importantly, the refugee experience. These were Venezuelan refugees. They had no idea where they were going, and then the people in Martha's Vineyard had no idea they were coming. So my question to you is was this a good policy, or do you think the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, was using human beings, specifically families, even children, as a political tool to score points, to essentially, quote unquote, dunk on the libs?
Well, I think as the governor said, and I'm not living in Florida, so I can't speak for the governor, but I'm assuming that, like Texas, the taxpayers of Florida are absorbing the burden of the failures of our immigration policies. And states like Florida, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona are fed up. We just can't afford it. We don't get the help from the federal government, and our local property taxpayers can no longer afford it.
But Orlando, do you think taking 50 people and dropping them off in an area that wasn't ready to house them is good policy?
Well, perhaps they should have better communication, and the governor perhaps should have called ahead of time. But as we say in Texas, because Greg Abbott has sent 11,000 up north, we can no longer afford to pick up the tab.
Julian, I want to start with you. There is a problem at the border. That is clear. The Biden administration clearly does not have it under control. And this has happened in part. I want to ask you, when you see what happened today and these governors in Texas and obviously Florida shipping out migrants all over the states, it is true that those border communities, and I know you know this, are overwhelmed.
Well, it's certainly true that border communities along the Texas border and other border states often bear the greatest share of responsibility and burden. I mean, there's no question about that. The question is, how do you address this in both an effective and a humane way? And the problem here is that this is pure cruelty and simply a political stunt 2 months before the November midterms, and it's neither effective nor humane. Just think for a second, Tom, that these are folks seeking asylum who are coming from Venezuela. who are fleeing the dictatorial Maduro regime. This is no different from Venezuelans who have come in the past, from Cubans who are now Cuban Americans, who have made a great life here, have been a wonderful community in the United States, who fled the Castro regime 2 generations ago. And instead of trying to do what we can, as a country to make sure that they're stable and they're able to survive well until their asylum request is held, their hearing is held, they are duped, they're lied to about where they're going, they're misled completely for political purposes. Instead of doing that and wasting taxpayer dollars doing it, Governor Abbott, Governor Ducey, and Governor DeSantis instead should encourage their senators like Senator Rubio, Senator Rick Scott, Senator Cornyn, Senator Cruz to support the request that President Biden made for record levels of funding for the Department of Homeland Security so that this problem can actually be addressed in an effective way.
Yeah, but Republicans will point out that Democratic presidents, including President Biden, have bussed migrants out of border towns before. What's different with what the Republican governors are doing?
Well, what's different is that they're not duping people. They're not lying to people about what they're doing. That's completely different, Tom. It also goes against the narrative, the story that these folks are trying to say, that only certain communities bear the entire burden of housing these migrants. That's not true. There's actually a network of places around the country that end up hosting families and children and others who are asylum seekers and undocumented immigrants. So it has never been the case that solely a few border states have responsibility for that. Again, let's look at what's been effective, what the Biden administration has done. It's invested record levels in Department of Homeland Security. It's beefed up border technology. It's gone after human traffickers. It struck up a partnership with Mexico and Guatemala to do joint border patrolling. So the Biden administration is actually engaged in trying to solve this problem.
Julian, to be fair, we heard it in Kerry's story. We heard it in Kerry's report there. We're still seeing record numbers at the border. So they may be trying to fix the problem, but clearly it has not worked. Orlando, I want to go back to you real quick. What is a solution here? What's a solution that is both humane, but that Democrats and Republicans can both agree on, that can maybe take some of the burden off those border states and border cities?
Well, first of all, with all due respect to the secretary, let me tell you who's getting duped are the taxpayers of Texas when Kamala Harris says that the border is under control. It's not. And we continue to bear the burden. If all of the undocumented aliens that have come into the country were made up a state, it would be the 17th largest state in America. We cannot sustain that. The answer, of course, Tom, is for Congress to do his job. And the secretary is correct. Both the House and the Senate need to work to resolve this issue. These southern states, our property taxpayers, are getting hammered. And the people getting duped, unfortunately, are the taxpayers of America. The United States, because of its policies and its failures to enforce immigration laws and to dedicate resources, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say this, are acting as a co-conspirator in the importation of cheap labor in this country. And that's got to end.
Orlando Sanchez, Julian Castro, I thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on Top Story tonight. Okay, we're also tracking weather threats from coast to coast. New video shows a mudslide taking out everything in its path, including a Jeep, as storms moved through Southern California earlier this week. The state also battling multiple wildfires. The Mosquito Fire north of Sacramento burning 64,000 acres. Now California's largest wildfire of the year. So let's bring in meteorologist Bill Cairns. Bill, you're also watching some new developments, I know, in the tropics. But first, walk us through these fires.
Yeah, the biggest one by far in the country right now is the Mosquito Fire. And this one has grown quickly over the last week. It's, people from hundreds of miles away could see the smoke in the air and also the pyrocumulus clouds because of the intensity of this blaze. So here's the latest on it. There's 3,000 firefighters on this blaze alone right now, easily the most of any fire in the country. It's still only 20% contained. We've had 70 structures that have been destroyed. No reports of any fatalities or injuries. It's in a pretty remote area at the current time, but it looks like it's going to burn for a long time. And this isn't the only fire we have out there. Here's a map of all of the West. We have 91 31 active large fires right now. To date, we've had over 50,000 fires this year. That's above average, and over 6 million acres burned. That's also above average for this date. And you notice where most of the fires are, all the smoke that we see from the Mosquito Fire is going to continue to blow into areas of Nevada and also southern Idaho, and also through Missoula, the Butte, and Missouri, up in Montana. They've had a lot of smoky days the last couple weeks.
Talk to us about the tropics. We're about 5 years from Hurricane Maria. We know that Puerto Rico is somewhere in the path of that new storm. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so we do have tropical storm watch up for Puerto Rico currently, and this is kind of our first storm to watch of the season. So it's a strong tropical storm, about 60-mile-per-hour winds. You can see it's still a ways away from the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Over about Saturdays, when the worst of the weather will be over the Virgin Islands, and it's Saturday night and Sunday near Puerto Rico. So here's the latest forecast from the Hurricane Center. We're very sure it's going to be somewhere near Puerto Rico during the tail end of the weekend. After that, it's a little more iffy where this thing is going to go. Remember, there's high mountains, especially over the Dominican Republic and Haiti. If it heads over there, it will get very weak. Here's our spaghetti lines, all of our different computers showing different directions. Some will curve it out to sea. Some bring it towards western Cuba and possibly towards the Bahamas in about 5 days from now. And I'll show you another map. This is what we call our ensemble forecast. And there's a lot of squiggly lines on here just to show you the possibility of the air. It could be all the way turning out to sea or even near South Florida. We'll know more in about 3 or 4 days, depending if it hits the Dominican Republic.
Bill, before you go, though, the one that has it coming towards the U.S., though, would that still be at hurricane strength, or we have no idea?
If it was to head towards Florida or the U.S., it would likely be very weak over Dominican Republic and then strengthening on approach. But again, that's 7 to 10 days from now. So we got a lot of time to watch Fiona.
All right, Bill, we appreciate it. Thanks for that. We turn now to a new development in the ongoing detention of Brittney Griner. President Biden set to meet Friday with family members of the WNBA superstar and former Marine Paul Whelan as the White House continues to push for their release from detention in Russia. Griner sentenced to 9 years in jail by a Moscow court last month. Senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell joins us now with the latest on the negotiations. So, Kelly, just walk us through this. What are the Russians demanding in order to get a deal done?
Well, the U.S. has made an offer, and at this point, the Russians have not responded to that. And what two sources are telling our colleagues is that the Russians want a spy held in U.S. custody in exchange for Paul Whelan. And then there is a Russian arms dealer who they want to have exchanged for Brittney Griner. Now, the U.S. has proposed something different than that, offering Victor Bout, that Russian arms dealer, for both Americans. They believe, the U.S. does, that that is an appropriate decision, and they are urging Russia to take that deal, but things have stalled and slowed down. And so tomorrow the president will have this face-to-face meeting with family members of each of these two Americans. There'll be separate meetings, and it certainly brings this to a much higher level publicly. And the families of these two Americans have wanted this kind of attention. And often what happens, Tom, as you know, when there are high-profile Americans detained or held or considered hostages in foreign countries, families want to know that the administration is working on it, and that is important, of course. And at the same time, sometimes the administration doesn't want to speak publicly about it to raise the value of those Americans in negotiations. And of course, right now, U.S.-Russian relations are at a particular low because of the Ukraine war. So can there be a breakthrough? The administration tells us the reason for the meeting is not to signal that there is not some specific breakthrough, but to demonstrate that the fate of both of these Americans is very important to the administration, and to have that personal contact.
Kelly, do you think the Biden administration blinks here and accepts that Russian counteroffer? Because I can't imagine a scenario where they take Brittney Griner, but they leave Paul Whelan in Russia.
Well, hard to know where the administration is because we are not read into the sensitive nature of this. But there's also another dimension where former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, a Democrat who has had a long history of negotiating on behalf of Americans held overseas, North Korea and other places, he's been in Moscow. And this administration is saying they're concerned about a private citizen getting involved. And at the same time, he's trying to break through this logjam of negotiations. So clearly, the U.S. wants to have these Americans home, knowing that tensions are high. Is that price too high to have a 2-for-2 scenario? Certainly, the U.S. would like to see an easier deal on the U.S. side, but we'll have to see how it plays out. But certainly, the meeting tomorrow will be a critical step for these families.
Right. Kelly O'Donnell for us. As those negotiations play out with Russia, Vladimir Putin attending a high-stakes summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders face to face for the first time since the start of the war in Ukraine. The meeting in Uzbekistan coming at a critical moment for Putin and his military. Russian forces suffering a string of stunning defeats, losing massive amounts of land in the northeast. Ukrainian troops seen tearing up Russian flags there, putting up Ukrainian ones. For more on what went down, I want to get right to Janice Mackey-Frayer in Beijing. And Janice, I guess I want to start with the big headline that we're reading about coming out of this meeting. Putin acknowledging that China has, quote, questions and concerns about this war. Tell us more.
Well, that was telling. China and Russia have good relations. They're strategically aligned in being at odds with the West. But Vladimir Putin did have more at stake going into this meeting because he does not have many allies to turn to beyond China. These two men also have a personal relationship. They've met dozens of times. They made that declaration about having the partnership with no limits. But that's what made it significant when Putin said, making this rare admission that he was aware that China had questions and concerns about Russia's war in Ukraine. And that signals that Beijing is not going to change its tact in not offering outright support for Russia's position in Ukraine. And it's also not going to give any sort of material or tactical support that Russia is looking for right now.
Right, but we can never forget that two countries, China being the largest, have propped up Russia throughout this war by buying that Russian oil. So I guess my question to you is how much of this is sort of show for the camera talk, but the actions are really what we have to watch? China and Russia still have sort of a very tight bond when it comes to trade and buying that oil.
Well, China has been buying Russian oil and gas. There's been brisk trade in products. They've given diplomatic backing at the UN. They've been amplifying Russian propaganda here and offering rhetorical support since almost the start of the war in Ukraine. But this is bad timing for Vladimir Putin to be looking for help. Beijing doesn't want to be seen as leaning into a potentially losing side. And right now, Russian forces are in retreat in Ukraine. And there's also more than Moscow at play here, Tom. Xi Jinping is at a Chinese-backed summit in Central Asia with leaders of post-Soviet republics who are not at all comfortable with Russia having a stronger footprint. So Xi is taking these things into consideration, too, as he's trying to bolster his foreign policy credentials ahead of this very important Communist Party Congress next month. He doesn't want that foreign policy, his foreign policy, to be measured only by China-Russia relations. So it's why we're seeing in the readouts very broad-based commitments. Yes, there would be a Chinese commitment to continue to offer some strategic support, but certainly not the tactical support that Putin needs.
We do have some breaking news we want to report. A federal judge has denied the Justice Department's motion for continued access to classified materials seized from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home and appointed, this is the important part here, a special master to review them. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon formally appointing Raymond J. Deary. He was proposed by former President Trump. Remember, both sides proposed special masters for this role, and he's the only candidate both sides agreed on. This is what we know about him. Deary is a U.S. District Court judge from the Eastern District of New York. He's from Long Island originally and was appointed by Ronald Reagan. More as we have it. Still ahead tonight, the robbery horror. 3 suspects, including one in a scream mask, armed with an assault rifle, holding customers at gunpoint in a New York City deli. What they made off with. Plus, the explosion during a training exercise at a Pennsylvania prison. Several officers injured. So what exactly happened there? And Kanye versus Gap. Why Kanye West says he terminated a partnership with the clothing company after months of complaints online. Stay with us. We're back now with Kanye West, the megastar, speaking out on CNBC tonight, terminating his deal with Gap, accusing the brand of not following through on their contract to build dedicated stores for his fashion line. Ellison Barber has more.
Tonight, there's trouble in fashion paradise.
Our agenda, it wasn't aligned.
Kanye West is terminating his multi-year deal with Gap and speaking out on CNBC's Closing Bell.
I'm the king, right? So a king can't live in someone else's castle. A king has to make his own castle.
The superstar announcing today he's parting ways with the brand after accusing the Gap of failing to follow through on aspects of their contract.
I signed on with them because they had, in the contract, they said they were going to do stores, and they just ignored us about building stores constantly. And sometimes I would talk to the guys, the heads up, the leaders, and it would just be like I was on mute or something.
West, who now goes by Ye, also expressing frustration over the price of Yeezy's Gap apparel.
I always talk to them about doing products for $20, like the best product in the world, designed at the same level of the top fashion houses in the world at $20 for the people. And actually, I wasn't able to set the actual price that I wanted for this collection. And then they actually took one of the shirts and sold it for $19. So didn't price my stuff, priced my stuff at like $200.
Gap stock was already struggling post-pandemic, and today it closed out down more than 3%.
The partnership with Kanye West that was expected to help Gap expand their relevance, target new and younger consumers coming into the brand. The issues with both parties coming together, I think, has led to what's happening today.
2 years ago, news of the partnership between one of Hollywood's biggest names and one of the 90s most iconic brands sent Gap stock soaring.
We've seen the influence that we've had on two Fortune 500 companies.
By June of 2021, Wells Fargo predicted Gap's Yeezy line could bring in nearly $1 billion within a year and boost Gap's shares by $1.50 per share by 2026. High hopes of a revitalized Gap after Kanye's partnership with Adidas was an instant knockout success.
Gentlemen, you got to clear the front of this place. You have to clear the front of the place.
His limited release shoes selling out almost instantly and being resold online for thousands of dollars. Kanye even rapping about his kicks in a 2016 song. He'd left Nike and signed with Adidas in 2013. But in recent weeks, Ye has taken to social media to criticize his fashion brand's corporate partners. In since-deleted Instagram post, he accused Adidas and the Gap of copying his designs in other non-Yeezy fashion lines. In a Bloomberg interview earlier this week, Kanye said it's time for him to leave Adidas too.
Yeezy is 68% of their online sales. And they've even gone and specifically hired people from my team to do collaborations with to attempt to make fake versions or to try to dilute my message.
Adidas has not commented on Kanye's claims.
He doesn't want any barrier of entry with his fans, so he has decided to venture off into his own. He's going to open some brick and mortar Yeezys on his own without these corporations kind of getting in the way.
The Gap did not reply to NBC News' request for comment, but for Ye, he says he had to walk away.
You're not going to be too optimistic.
No, I'm saying, and they have one individual on the planet that could save the Gap. And that individual, I'm asking you, who do you think it is? Sometimes the answer is sitting right in front of you.
Always so humble there. All right, Ellison Barber joins us now. So, Ellison, do we know if Gap is commenting publicly yet?
So they haven't commented on this publicly. After speaking with some experts, what we expect to happen is that this will be litigated for a while, right? But one thing to keep in mind as we're talking about this is that Kanye West and his legal team have been very public, showing us some of their own legal documents. But what we haven't seen yet are the legal documents that were from the very beginning when Kanye and the Gap went into this deal initially. So in terms of the specific allegations from Kanye West, right now, we really have a lot from his side, but very little from Gap, at least at this point in time.
So Gap and other companies may find dealing with Kanye West is difficult, but you can't deny what he brings to the table, the amount of money he brings, and kids, adults, clearly love his gear. So do we know why Gap couldn't come to an agreement with Kanye West over the stores, over the pricing? Do we know why there was just sort of no middle ground?
We don't, but from Kanye's standpoint, he seems to be taking this very aggressive position saying, I know what my name and my brand can and has done for you, and if you're not going to play ball exactly on my terms, then I'm done. And speaking with his lawyer earlier today, his lawyer was adamant in saying that Kanye will take Yeezy, he will make his own retail stores, open them up brick and mortar, and he's going to do well.
So I was going to ask you about that. So that's that's what he eventually wants, and that's what we'll see possibly down the future. We're going to see Yeezy stores.
Yes, according to the conversation I had with his attorney this morning, he says that is the plan for Kanye moving forward.
This might be too technical, but do we know, because the Yeezy sneaker is so popular with Adidas, but that deal is still together. That relationship is not completely fractured, though we saw in your story. They've hit a rocky road.
Yes, so as far as we know, we've reached out to Adidas and we're trying to get more information from them, particularly in light of these kind of late-breaking comments from Kanye West in the CNBC interview. As far as we know at this point, we've seen these allegations from Kanye West on social media, have not heard much, if anything, from Adidas. As far as we're aware, the contract there is still intact. We're trying to get some more information. We'll let you know as soon as we do.
All right, Ellison Barber for us. Ellison, we appreciate that. When we come back, another rapper making headlines tonight, Cardi B, pleading guilty to charges in connection to a 2018 brawl at a strip club. What she admitted on the stand. That's next. All right, back now with Top Stories newsfeed, and we begin with the search for suspects behind a caught-on-camera robbery in New York City. New video shows a suspect in a scream mask and armed with an assault rifle entering a deli in Queens. Two others armed follow close behind, the trio holding customers and employees at gunpoint, stealing phones and $3,000 from the register. No one was hurt. A Chick-fil-A employee is being hailed a hero after stopping a carjacking outside the fast food restaurant. Check out this video. It shows the employee wrestling the suspect to the ground and holding him there until police arrived. It happened at one of the chain's locations near Destin, Florida. Police say the suspect was armed with a stick when he demanded the keys from a woman who was trying to get her infant out of the car. He's now facing multiple charges. Several officers were hurt during a training accident at a Pennsylvania prison. The FBI was holding an explosives training at the state prison in Collegeville when a device unexpectedly detonated. The blast injuring bomb technicians, state police officers, and FBI agents. At least two of those victims were airlifted to a nearby hospital. And rapper Cardi B pleaded guilty to charges stemming from a strip club brawl in 2018. The Grammy Award winner leaving a New York City court today. She admitted to orchestrating the attack on two sisters because she believed one of them had an affair with her husband, rapper Offset from Migos. Cardi was ordered to serve 15 days of community service and to stay away from both victims for 3 years. All right, next tonight to that huge sigh of relief after the White House announced a last-minute agreement to avert a nationwide rail strike. You may remember we led with it last night. It could have worsened supply chain problems and cost the U.S. economy billions of dollars a day. But is the deal finally done? Miguel Almaguer has the details.
The tentative agreement keeps 7,000 freight trains on the tracks, the American economy, our supply chain chugging along, and nationwide passenger service on the rails after a grueling 20-hour negotiation session with White House leaders, the unions representing some 60,000 active freight train conductors and engineers reached an 11th-hour deal at 2 a.m. with rail companies.
To the American people, this agreement can avert a significant damage that any shutdown would have brought.
With a vote from union members expected to ratify the deal, conductors and engineers are set to receive annual bonuses totaling $5,000 over a 5-year term and a staggered pay increase year after year, amounting to a 24% raise.
It's about quality of life. It's about the ability to actually take care of your family, to take days off when you need the opportunity to.
As a strike threatened to disrupt the supply chain exactly 100 days before Christmas, the cost to the U.S. economy could have soared to $2 billion a day. Still, workers held their ground.
All across the country, workers are rising up. They're fed up with low wages, unsafe work conditions, and they see record profits on the corporate ledgers.
Still, the handshake agreement did come at a cost. Because 97% of the rails they ride on are owned by freight companies, yesterday Amtrak, fearing a strike, canceled all of their long-distance routes. By tomorrow, service on the web of rails will be restored, but not soon enough for passengers like David Paperman and his wife.
We're in Eugene Airport getting ready
who today are flying instead of riding 850 miles when their trip was canceled at the last minute.
They saw the train coming in the tunnel
and they didn't tell us.
Tonight, a setback for some, but our nation now on track to keep goods and passengers moving.
Miguel Almaguer joins us now from Los Angeles. Miguel, it's pretty incredible. We thought we were on the verge of Armageddon when it came to the rail industry yesterday. The president today celebrating this deal, but I know you have some new reporting. This is not a done deal, and we still have to be sort of careful.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. It's not a done deal. Union members still need to get the contract, review it, and then take a vote on that. We're told that entire process could take weeks, if not months. Everyone we spoke to tonight said they are cautiously optimistic, but again, not yet a done deal, Tom.
All right, Miguel Almaguer from Los Angeles tonight. Miguel, we thank you. Now to Top Stories Global Watch and the deadly stampede in Guatemala. Authorities say people became crushed as thousands tried to leave a packed concert area. At least 9 people have been killed and more than 20 injured. The music festival was held about 125 miles west of Guatemala City as the country celebrated its Independence Day. An update on that record-breaking flooding in Pakistan. New video shows crop fields submerged, devastating farmers. Look at that. The flooding has impacted about 33 million people and left about $30 billion in damages. So far, nearly 1,500 people have been killed, including more than 500 children. And Swiss tennis star Roger Federer is retiring. The 41-year-old making the announcement on social media following a series of knee surgeries. Over his 24-year career, he has won 20 Grand Slam titles and spent 310 weeks ranked at #1. His final competitive matches will be at the Laver Cup in London next week. Okay, coming up, the Texas doctor arrested. The investigation uncovering that he tampered with IV bags, putting his patients' lives at risk and possibly killing one of his colleagues. And it's not his first run-in with the law. Those details next. Okay, next up, Texas. A doctor has been arrested following an investigation. He tampered with IV bags at his hospital. This after a co-worker's death was linked to his actions, and the case now in the hands of federal prosecutors. Nyela Charles has the details.
Tonight, a Texas doctor with a history of medical board reviews now arrested for allegedly tampering with IV bags, resulting in the death of his colleague. Officials say anesthesiologist Dr. Reynaldo Ortiz Jr. was arrested Wednesday on federal charges of tampering with a consumer product causing death and intentional drug adulteration. According to the criminal complaint, in June, Dr. Ortiz's co-worker experienced a medical emergency and died after treating herself for dehydration at home with an IV bag. The autopsy says a lethal dose of a nerve-blocking agent caused her death.
There is never any time at all ever that you would ever use bupivacaine and put it in someone's blood vessels.
Her family confirming it was Dr. Melanie Casper from Baylor Scott & White Health in North Dallas. But she isn't the only alleged victim, the complaint indicating there may be at least 12. The complaint pointing to surveillance video that they allege shows Ortiz placing suspected tampered IV bags into a warmer.
This is so scary and shocking to all of my clients. It's hard to imagine.
Attorney Bruce Steckler represents at least 2 alleged victims described in the complaint, one of them just 18 years old.
I think anybody who sends someone for a routine surgery does not expect to be told, especially if it's your healthy 18-year-old son, that your child might have a 50-50 chance of survival.
Baylor Scott & White Health telling NBC News its facility contacted law enforcement after discovering that an IV bag appeared to have been compromised, adding their facility is closed while they help investigators contact patients.
There were a number of red flags that went unheeded in this particular situation.
Dr. Ortiz has a disciplinary history with the Texas Medical Board. In November of 2020, one of Ortiz's patients suffered serious complications during anesthesia, according to the criminal complaint. As a result, the Texas Medical Board documentation shows they decided to monitor Ortiz and have him complete additional training. But he was still able to practice. And more medical board documents show that in 2016, Ortiz was found guilty of a misdemeanor for shooting his neighbor's dog. The medical board disciplined him with a fine, while the medical center suspended him for 2 weeks for failing to report it.
All right, Nyela Charles joins us now from Los Angeles. Nyela, I guess the big question that people at home are going to have, it's a question I have, is why? Why would Dr. Ortiz do this, especially to patients who needed his help? And then I know you have some reporting about an upcoming court date that Dr. Ortiz has.
Right, Tom, that's a great question, but unfortunately, the criminal complaint doesn't list a possible motive. So far, we haven't been able to reach Dr. Ortiz for comment, and it's not yet clear whether or not he's obtained an attorney, but we do expect to learn more on that front at his federal court appearance that's expected on Friday. Tom? All right, Nyla, Charles, also welcome to Top Story. I know you're making your debut tonight. We thank you for that report. Thanks so much for watching Top Story tonight. I'm Tom Llamas in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.